looked not so rosy as the Hawks found themselves down to the final gasp. But back home in the Omni, they were flying high. The offensive spark plug, little Spud Webb, found a way to slither through the Celtic defense, putting together a career-best playoff performance and igniting the Hawks to a much-needed victory. The wear and tear on Boston's starting five is beginning to show as the young Hawks hope to even up the series. Next.
2-1. It's a very significant game for Atlanta because the only way they can beat Boston.
I think he was a pretty good basketball player, and he stopped doing the little things that made him terrific. He's doing the little things now.
Less than par performance for him on Sunday. Robert Parish at center. He's been playing well in the playoffs. Dennis Johnson has to hit the open jumper, and Danny Ainge, who's also seeking a return of his accurate perimeter shooting. And of course, Casey Jones, the head coach at Boston, in his last year, he's going to retire. Jimmy Rogers will take over after this season. For the Atlanta Hawks, trailing in the series 2-1. Dominique Wilkins, who's been struggling from the floor. Kevin Willis playing very well. Tree Rollins, maybe a little more offense from Tree. Doc Rivers, a sore big toe. And can Randy Whitman find his jump shot again? A big question for the Atlanta Hawks. And Mike Fratello, he's 40 years old. Third year in a row, 50-plus wins with this franchise. As you probably well know by now, Mike, the coach of the Eastern All-Stars this year. The officials, Hugh Hollins and Hugh Evans, left to right, and Bill Oakes, the alternate, on the right. He'll be on the bench. Mike Fratello was able to talk to the alternate official all day yesterday, trying to get decisions changed, but not a whole lot of luck for it. And there's the profile of this playoff series. Boston's played in 80 playoff series in their history. 80. The opening tip, controlled by McHale in Boston. Ainge. This is the outside shot. Offensive foul. Boston. Kevin McHale picks up his first.
No, a big key to this game is going to be that Boston has got to make shots tonight if they're going to win here on the road. The Hawks are a very, very strong home team. And if they want to play the slow-down game, they've got to make their shots.
Doc Rivers, Randy Whitman, the guards for Atlanta. Willis, Wilkins, and Tree Rollins up front. Wilkins. 2-0 Atlanta. It is critical for the Hawks to get an early start from an Atlanta point of view. When they trail in the first quarter, they have lost both games. They led yesterday, won the game. McHale answers. Tied at 2. Half a minute gone. Quarter number 1. Wilkins battling on the offensive boards. Rollins controlling. Atlanta loses it out of bounds. Boston ball. Atlanta dominating the offensive boards, unable to find a hoop.
That was great effort, but you've got to finish some of those shots. Again, the touch isn't there on the big people from Atlanta.
Tied at 2. We've got a hold on the entry pass. Dominique Wilkins practically left the Omni when he ran off the court down there. Bird inbounds. First team foul against Atlanta. Willis picked up the personal. Dennis Johnson trapped. 7-footer Kevin Willis came out on him, and he decided instead of trying the jumper, he'd take it to the hole and stutter step.
Well, you're going to see, Bob, that both of these star players are going to be double teamed. They're going to try to take the ball out of their hands as much as possible. When Dominique catches and has the isolation game, he's going to be double teamed. They want him to make basketball decisions.
Randy Whitman running off a great baseline screen set by Kevin Willis. Hits his first jumper. 4-2 Hawks. Bird on a beautiful cut into the paint. He gets his first one. Bird only 5 of 18 in game number 3.
I look for Bird to have the big night tonight.
Willis over Parish. Ainge kicks it to Bird. Oh my, that's a two-pointer just inside the line, and Bird is 2 out of 2.
You notice what happens when the ball goes in the basket. Here's a slowdown now, half-court offense by Atlanta, and they're simply just not as good as Boston in the half-court game.
Critical for Randy Whitman to get open on the screens. Also to clear some area for Dominique Wilkins. Gets the roll, Wilkins, 4 points.
Those are very difficult shots to make over the big shot blockers of Boston. I don't think he's going to be able to make that shot all night.
Look at that drive by Robert Parish, like a youngster.
Parish will be able to make that shot all night, however.
Not like a man who's played 12 years.
Oh.
What a series Parish is having. Bird was saying it's the best playoff series that Parish has had since he's been there. Block Dennis Johnson. Ainge and McHale running. There's McHale with a follow, and it's going to be Whitman with the foul.
Good intelligent foul by Whitman on that, because we certainly did have that shot made. There's a big 7-foot, one player able to go to the basket like a smaller man.
8-6 Boston. Bird off balance, buries it, goes to the line. Bird has 6, an opportunity for 7. He's 3 out of 3.
Did you really think Bird would have 2 off games in a row? I don't think so.
Bird comes into the series in the playoffs shooting 48% compared to 53% in the regular season, averaging 27 points compared to nearly 30 in the regular season.
Larry Bird has had some really big games against Atlanta here. He's had some outstanding up in the 40s, and he's able to do that occasionally here.
Atlanta trailing 11-6. Willis will go to the line. Larry Bird picks up his first personal.
Mike Fratello running that staggered double screen for Whitman. If you can't get through to stop the shot by Whitman, then the explosion inside is there, and they found him pretty easily. Notice the inside there. Rivers makes a terrific pass to Willis. If he misses it, Trees on the other side for the rebound. Nice job.
Willis goes to the free throw line. He's only shooting 65% from the line. In the regular season, he's up to 70 in the playoffs, but still not a good free throw shooter.
Willis with the size, he's a 7-footer with just a terrific body, has very small hands, and every now and then he'll lose control of the ball, or when his hands get sweaty, he has a tough time.
Bird is on fire. He's 4 out of 4. You know the Hawks must be thinking, can Bird go 9 for 9 as he did in game 1? Wilkins answers. There's one difference. Dominique Wilkins scoring better than he has in this series so far.
Both their star players are off to terrific starts.
Dennis Johnson lost the handle, stepped on the baseline. 13-10 Boston, 8-12 to go, quarter number 1. This is the best offensive execution by both teams in this series thus far.
Absolutely. Dominique, however, is making some very difficult shots on his penetration. He's got to go through 2 shot blockers.
And now Randy Whitman. He's 2 out of 2. 1-point Boston lead. On the shot clock for Dennis Johnson. Stripped away by Doc Rivers. Has Dominique Wilkins and Willis with him. Wilkins. The Hawks take the lead by 1.
There's that open court play that we're talking about. That's what the Hawks want to do. Get in the open court where their decisions are easy.
9-2 Atlanta run. Into McHale. Jump hook blocked by Rollins.
Look at the great hands that Doc Rivers has here. In the open court he goes. Split the defense. 2-on-1. Jammed by Dominique. Take a look at the left hand now. Dominique, 2 years ago, couldn't have made this play.
Here's Wilkins again, and he doesn't get the roll. Rollins jams it back in. The previous Wilkins basket did not count, in case you're wondering, because Ainge was called for a backcourt foul before Wilkins ever got down for that. The players couldn't hear the whistle because of the noise. Dennis Johnson fouled as he penetrates. So let me reset it for you. It's
About it, but he was 2 for 11 yesterday in their ball game, and he just didn't have a Dennis Johnson game.
This is, of the 4 games, the 3rd game that I've televised, Don Nelson, as you probably well know. And Dennis Johnson in game 2 hit the floor very hard up in Boston on that shoulder. We wondered at the time if it didn't maybe cause a recurrence.
Well, he's already passed up one wide open jumper to penetrate to the basket.
No problem at the free throw line. It's a 1-point Atlanta Hawks lead with 6:51 remaining in quarter number 1.
Here's a little man-to-man pressure by Boston. Nothing very serious.
9 seconds for Rivers to get it across the timeline.
Out of huddles, Boston will try to surprise you. If you're not ready out of the huddle, they can give you some fouls.
Tree Rollins, good post-up move as he spins left and goes over the shorter Larry Bird.
Anything they get out of Trey is just gravy.
Bird backing in. Nice feed to Parish. Bird gets the assist. Robert Parish with 4 points. Bird, by the way, has 9 points early on.
That's the difficult thing about double teaming Larry Bird. If you double team him, you're vulnerable to his pass, and he's one of our finest passers and has really ever played the game.
K.C. Jones retiring at the end of the playoffs this year, which he hopes will come sometime in mid-June. Atlanta ball inbounded, new shot clock, Doc Rivers. With his first basket of the night, Doc Rivers. He's been the offensive key for Atlanta up until this point.
I think Boston expects this to be an emotional game at the start, but they're going to have to do it for 48 minutes to beat Boston.
What a feed into McHale. Have they played together for a while or what? Rivers, beautiful penetration move, misses the shot. Bird rebound. Ainge breaking on the left. Good feed from Dennis Johnson.
You see now, twice Atlanta has got to the basket and has not been able to finish off. Once on the rebound and then once on the penetration. They've got to finish the shots.
All 5 starters for both teams have now scored. Whitman wide open. He's not going to miss that shot, particularly when he hits his first one. I've noticed he's a real confidence kind of player, Don.
He has to make a big contribution for the outside shot for Atlanta to win.
Atlanta up 22-21. 5 minutes to go, quarter number 1. Parish on the double team to Johnson. He takes it to the hoop. Gave up the perimeter shot once again. He'll go to the free throw line.
They want to keep pushing the ball. They want to get in the open court where the advantage is all Hawks.
Dennis Johnson, 3 out of 3 from the line tonight. And now Scott Hastings enters the ball game for Atlanta. I talked to Brendan Sir, Hawks assistant, before the game. He said Scott Hastings is a real big key in this game, and he came to the coaches before the Boston series and said, in a half-court game, I can really help you. I hope you'll play me more.
What we talked about on the pregame show was that it's a team of athletes. Here's the exception on their ball club. Here's a good basketball player that's a lot better at playing basketball than most people give him credit for.
So Rollins out, Hastings in. There have been 5 lead changes in this game already. That was one there. 23-22 Boston. Reverse it to Whitman. A little out of his range. Bird rebounding.
That's a shot they expect Whitman to make.
Parish, as good as any 7-footer I've ever seen getting out on the break.
When he wants to run, he can run with anybody in the game.
3-point attempt, no good by Wilkins. Rebound McHale. Boston by 3. Lob to Bird, hit the edge of the basket, and Parish gets the hoop. Lucky Shamrock kind of play.
I think Boston is very, very happy with the pace of this. They have a tendency to copy their star players. You see the style of Larry Bird, and you see the style of Dominique Wilkins, and both teams really have adapted their own personalities of these great players.
19 seconds on the Atlanta shot clock following the 22nd timeout. Fratello obviously with a play called on the bench. It's for Whitman. Now we'll watch Randy Whitman and just see how he does with that perimeter game after he's missed 3 in a row. Ainge throws up a brick. McHale answers. Kevin McHale with 6 points.
Willis went to sleep on that. When they get Boston to take the quick shot and miss, they've got to rebound the ball.
29-22. Boston. Dominique Wilkins is feeling it tonight. Wilkins has double figures, 10 points to lead all scorers in the game.
Boston is holding their double team on Wilkins until after he dribbles, and he's beating the double team.
Bird answers. Oh, from a basketball fan's viewpoint, you got to hope that both of them get 45.
That would be exciting.
Wilkins with the travel. Atlanta turnover. Boston leading 31-24.
That's exactly what they want to do, to take his one-on-one game away and make him make decisions, and that time he made a poor one.
Now Boston has decided to call a timeout with 2:53 to go in the first quarter. 31-24 Celtics.
Back-to-back 4 games.
2:53 to go, quarter number 1. The largest lead of the game for Boston of 7 points. John Battle is checked in for Atlanta. He's number 12, guarding Johnson. Also Cliff Livingston, number 53, who's on Bird. Willis moves to center. Antoine Carr on McHale. Dennis Johnson buries the perimeter shot.
It's a big basket for Dennis. That's exactly what we're talking about. Atlanta is going to make him shoot the ball.
Boston by 9. Livingston. Now Battle shooting from where Whitman was missing, and Battle does likewise. It'll belong to Atlanta.
Now, the difference in the 2 ball clubs defensively, Boston has a very soft defense. They make you come to their big shot blockers. They don't really go out and pressure the ball that much. Atlanta, on the other hand, tries to put ball pressure on, tries to get a lot of help from their other players from the weak side.
Both Ainge and McHale went down as they collided. Antoine Carr picks up the foul for Atlanta. It's Boston's ball. Let's see if Ainge and McHale are okay.
Let's take a look at the replay if we can. Here it is. I think Kevin flopped to draw the foul, to be quite honest with you, and unfortunately he crashed right into Ainge.
Dennis Johnson with the penetration. Doesn't get the hoop. Johnson knocked off the court. Loose ball foul, Atlanta.
Boston is outstanding.
John Battle from Rutgers. Lowest draft choice for the Atlanta Hawks since they drafted Herb White out of Georgia back in 1970. He was 133rd pick. But he's a good one.
He really is a good player, and they need his offensive skills.
Dennis Johnson's made a living at the free throw line thus far tonight. First miss of the evening for Dennis Johnson. Boston 5 out of 6 from the line. Atlanta has only shot 1 free throw.
You know, they're going to make Dennis Johnson shoot that outside shot, but unfortunately he doesn't shoot it all the time. He penetrates it, and when he gets into that penetration, he's able to draw the foul.
And he's shooting 83% free throw line in the playoffs. 34-24, Boston's biggest lead. It's double digits with 1:55 to go, quarter number 1.
I think Dennis Johnson is hurt. Let's take a look at Dennis. I'm not sure that he didn't injure himself on that last play.
He's calling for help from the bench right now. And remember, Paxson is also hurt. He hurt his back yesterday in the ball game here, has a sore back, so Dirk Minifield is going to check into the ball game. Minifield, who was waived at Golden State back in November, something you'd know something about, Don Nelson, and signed with Boston in December.
Dirk Minifield is a very good athlete. He's probably the best athlete on Boston's team, and he's done a really nice job for them this year.
So Minifield, the first substitution. That's because Dennis Johnson is feeling poorly. We'll keep a check on his condition. Minute 45 to go, first quarter. Hawks trailing it by 10. Boston on a 13-2 run. Make it 13-4.
There's something a little different. Doc Rivers all of a sudden gets Randy Whitman's play and scores on it. He had a staggered double screen down low.
Parish feeds Minifield. Block Carr, but he's calling goaltending. Antoine Carr, who's a great shot blocker, but he got that one. It was either over the rim or on its way down.
Here's the terrific passing skills of this Boston team. They do find the open man. That was a very close play.
You bet. 1:11 to go, first quarter. Boston by 10. 10 on the shot clock for Atlanta. Webb, nice feed, Willis.
Oh, pick and roll.
Spud Webb's first assist. Willis has 4 points. Will Bird miss one tonight? Larry Bird with 13 points. Webb wide open from the perimeter. He hits that one. Spud Webb. He is not shooting well against Boston. Webb only 35% in this series coming up to here. He's done things other than score for Atlanta.
They're not going to worry too much if Spud makes the outside shot. They're worried about his penetration.
Bird had wanted to make the pass to Parish. Traveling on Livingston. Turnover, Boston ball, leading by 8 with 25 seconds to go. And Ted Turner gives you an idea of how he feels about that. Gives him a sore neck.
We have to count the easy basket that Atlanta has misfired on. There's a layup, and counting the rebound, the easy shots missed. So far, that's 6 points accounted for.
5 in the quarter. Broken up and stolen by Atlanta with 4 seconds left. Boston foul.
He had a foul to give, and he gave it to stop the layup on the other side.
Spud Webb goes flying loose. Foul, Minifield.
I think Spud is hurt. He wrenched his back, I think, when he ran into Larry. Larry was trying to get out of his way.
That put the Hawks in the penalty.
He almost took off like a kite.
What a body on that young man. He's only 5'5½". They list him at 5'7", but in his bare feet, 5'5½". Of course, his celebrated knee injury. He's rebuilt his knee so much, as a matter of fact, it's bigger than the other leg to try to protect against the injury. And he seems to be okay.
I'm glad to see that he's all right. I was afraid maybe he hurt his back on that play.
A vertical leap of 42 inches. They call him Sputnik. I guess that's why.
It was amazing.
2 seconds in the quarter. Minifield launches a prayer that comes up short at the end of 1. Boston with a 6-point. Dominique Wilkins has 10 points for Atlanta. Hasn't been heard from in the last few minutes. He's on the bench now. And by the way, we just learned from the Boston team doctor, according to the Boston team doctor, nothing is wrong with Dennis Johnson. He'll be all right, and he will be back.
You know, Bob, I don't think that fatigue is going to be a factor in any playoff game, but I think injuries are a factor. These fellas are getting banged around pretty good, and when Boston only plays a few players off the bench, why the injury factor becomes more important than fatigue.
It's kicked by Minifield. It'll be Atlanta ball on the sideline. By the way, we were talking about Bird having his 13 points. He's 6 out of 6, hasn't missed yet. 2 assists, 2 rebounds. Just another average quarter for Larry Bird.
He thought it was the fourth quarter. That was his only problem.
Spud Webb, by the way, went down hard when he ran into the Celtics a couple of minutes ago, is okay. We learned from the Atlanta bench. Okay in the playoff means you're breathing. Livingston. Not his shot, more of a post-up score. It goes over the hoop. It'll belong to Boston. Boston leading 38-32.
Atlanta right now does not have an outside shooter on the court, and I think they're going to pay the price unless they can get in that open court.
Doc Rivers could be the guy should they run those plays. Offensive foul, Atlanta.
There is a deep thigh bruise.
Livingston, as we watch him being helped off the court, played 26 minutes a game in the regular season, Don, yet in the playoffs only about 12 minutes a game. I talked to the coaches. They said not that his game is bad, but that Willis has been coming on, and Willis fits in at the center position. There just hadn't been the minutes for him. Now he's, of course, going to have to be out even more.
That's very true. They did count on him a lot this season, and he really made a nice contribution. It's too bad he got hurt. To show you the intensity of this game, how many players have hit the deck we thought were injured? Most of them are.
Roberts, Manyfield, Bird, Gilmore, and Ainge in there for Boston. Carr misses. Goes strong to the hoop. He's fouled.
This is why Antoine Carr is an important factor in this game, because when he's in the game, Larry Bird has got to play a good offensive player. They're isolating on Bird. The double team is slow. He's got to finish the first one. He's not going to get too many second opportunities. Look at Artis Gilmore push Bird.
Bird gets the foul. Gilmore gets the push. Nothing on the score sheet. Dominique Wilkins off the glass, doesn't go. Bird rebound. That's Bird's third rebound in the game. Boston by 6. Nobody scored in this quarter so far. Boston turnover. Manyfield threw it over the head of Fred Roberts. Roberts, the only non-injured player remaining on the Boston bench from last year.
Isn't that unbelievable?
10:34 to go first half. Boston by 6. Minute and a half gone in this quarter. Nobody scored.
See the lack of the outside shot there. Even though Spud had the open shot, he took it into the paint.
That was only about a 10-footer by Spud Webb. The word on Cliff Livingston, bruised thigh, and they're not sure if he'll return or not. 4-point game. Stolen. Willis. Rivers. Wilkins. Intelligent finesse move. Instead of taking it strong, he drew it down and banked it off the glass. Dominique Wilkins with 12. Timeout Boston for Atlanta with a deep thigh bruise. Spud Webb has been sprawled on the court. He's said to be okay. Let's check the lineups for Boston. Gilmore, Roberts, and Bird up front. Dennis Johnson has returned with Danny Ainge in the backcourt. For Atlanta, Spud Webb and Doc Rivers join Dominique Wilkins, Carr, and Kevin Willis. Bird's first miss of the game. He's 6 out of 7. Spud Webb wanted to penetrate, saw a sea of green jerseys in the paint.
Now you could see an opportunity for Spud to get right to that foul line and shoot the jumper, but he's reluctant to shoot that outside shot more than 10 feet from the basket.
4 seconds on the shot clock. Rivers for 3.
Oh, is that going to be a big play for Doc? If he can hit that outside shot tonight, Atlanta's going to be awful tough.
Rivers is 4 out of 11 in the playoffs from 3-point range. Ainge answers for 2 as the Hawks took the lead for about 2 seconds.
And look who's coming back in the ball game now.
Kevin McHale and Robert Parish about to re-enter the game.
You know, Doc Rivers is not known as an outstanding outside shooter. Now here he's forced to take some outside shots because Whitman is not in the ball game and Battle's not in the game. When he plays with Spud Webb, then he's got to shoot the outside shot, and he's doing it extremely well right now.
Fred Roberts picks up the Boston foul. Dominique Wilkins goes to the free throw line for the first time tonight. Wilkins with 13 points now. And it's tied at 40, 8:56 to go in the first half. So it's Parish and McHale back into the ball game. Roberts standing on the side trying to get in for Boston. Hawks trapping. Wilkins scores off the double team.
They'll stay in this trap now. If they score on it, they'll stay in it again. Let's see if they trap again.
Atlanta up by 3. This crowd is rocking at the Omni. Bodies flying everywhere. 3 seconds called against Boston on Kevin McHale. McHale flashed into the lane. They were covering so well they couldn't make the entry pass, Don.
Atlanta's doing an outstanding job defensively. Full court. You don't surprise Boston very often after a free throw, but I think the Hawks surprised them there in a 1-2-1-1 full court trap.
43-40. Hawks up by 3 after trailing in this game by 10. Another Another Boston foul. This one is on Robert Parish. Team foul situation. 3 on the Celtics, none on the Hawks.
Here the Hawks go inside. The double team is going to come by Ainge, but Willis shoots before the double gets there.
Antoine Carr with a moving pick. They don't call it. Tip in Willis.
Tipped that off his knuckles. He didn't use his fingers that time.
As if his hands weren't small enough. Atlanta's biggest lead of the game. It's 45-40. Roberts blocked by Willis or Carr. Parish stays with it. He's fouled by Carr. They say not Carr. It was Spud Webb who was deep down in the paint who got the foul. Carr thought it was him.
When McHale and Parish play together, which is most of the time, they have one of the longest run lines in basketball. They can come with Roberts or Larry Bird. It doesn't matter who the other player is. They are very, very long and lanky. Block easy shots. Play together extremely well.
You got to ask yourself, how can Spud Webb foul Robert Parish?
Very lowly.
Cliff Livingston is back on the bench. He went into the locker room, was wrapped and treated by Joe O'Toole. It's questionable whether he will return to action. 4-point Atlanta lead. 7:34 to go in the first half.
It's a very interesting lineup to have with Rivers. That makes him the shooting guard. Let's see if he can continue to shoot that outside shot.
Fred Roberts called for his second personal, and Wilkins was the man who was fouled. The Hawks will inbound it. Now 14 fouls on the Celtics, 1 on Atlanta with 7:27 to go in the quarter. Atlanta's on a 17-3 run. Wilkins from 21 feet. Webb. Willis with the double team. Webb's open. He reverses it. Back to Webb. Now he's open from 18. Spud Webb got it back from Rivers.
Yes, Spud. Shoot the ball.
Hawks by 6. Timeout Boston. 6:51 to go. Quarter number 2. It's only a 20-second.
Nice form. Right in the hole.
Spud Webb has 8 points off the bench. He was the spark plug yesterday, and even only 3 Boston shots have been allowed this quarter by the tenacious Atlanta defense. It's hard to hear the whistle. They call it on Spud Webb again. He has 2. The players continue even after Hugh Holland sounded the whistle that time.
You've got to like this lineup if you're a Hawk fan, because who is Larry Bird going to guard? He's going to have to guard a pretty good offensive player.
Bird over Carr, and Carr draws the foul. Larry Bird shooting a mere 94% from the line. Misses that one. There's Livingston back in. He's got those tights around his thighs. He has a deep thigh bruise on his left thigh. A football thigh pad has been placed underneath those shorts.
Well, he could easily switch sports.
You made the comment that, except for possibly ice hockey, these guys could play about any of them on the Atlanta team particularly.
You know, Livingston is going to be able to play tonight, but he'll be really sore tomorrow.
Wilkins has 16 points. We'll keep our eye on that right thigh of Livingston. He has the deep bruise, and Livingston is matched up with Parish. Down low. They want to get it to Parish now. Can't do it. Shot clock to 10 for Boston. Parish picked. Tipped away by Rivers. Shot clock to 6, 5. Feed Parish. He scores with 1 second on the shot clock.
That was a terrific defensive effort by the Hawks. Scored with 1 second. That really hurts you.
5:49 to go first half. Atlanta leading by 5. Biggest Hawks lead 7. Biggest Celtics lead 10. Bud Webb misses this one. Parish with his third rebound.
Again, you see the Celtics giving Spud the outside shot. He shouldn't hesitate. Just go ahead and shoot it.
McHale jump hook on the baseline. McHale has 8. Bird 14. Parish 11. That front line of Boston devastating offensively once again. Hawks by 3.
Well, Mike Fratello afraid that Antoine Carr is going to pick up another foul and get in foul trouble, but that was an outstanding lineup he had out there together. I guess I'm a little surprised that he changed it.
They left Spud Webb so open that time that Boston committed an illegal defense. Tree Rollins checks back in. Willis will get a rest. Also, Randy Whitman's going to come in for Atlanta.
You know, it's not Spud's forte to shoot the ball, but if he would just concentrate on taking his open shot when it's there, not think about it, he'd have a much better chance to score from the outside.
Rollins, Livingston, and Wilkins up front for Rivers and Whitman now for Atlanta. 5 minutes to go, first half. For 3. Rivers 1 out of 2 tonight from that range.
It's not just making one shot. I think they're going to have to make that shot all night.
Bird with an ill-advised pass. Atlanta ball. Livingston with a double clutch. What an athletic move by Cliff Livingston.
That's the open court. Atlanta is tough in the open court.
51-46 Atlanta.
Well, the most impressive thing about tonight's game from the Hawks standpoint is their defense. They're really playing the passing lanes with quick hands tonight.
Shot clock to 10, 9 and counting. 7. Bird will go to the line. And it's Dominique Wilkins with a personal.
Here's Doc Rivers in the open court. He's baited, made the correct pass, and there's a great athletic move.
Wilkins with his first foul. Dominique Wilkins, by the way, with 18 points. Bird with 16. 17. Hawks by 2.
There's the isolation against McHale.
And McHale with a block on the drive. Dominique Wilkins will go to the line.
I think Danny Ainge just missed his assignment. That's one of the few times that they've let Dominique have the side without double teaming. They're going on the dribble. As soon as Dominique puts the ball on the floor, the double team is coming. At that time, they missed their assignment.
Second on McHale. Along with Don Nelson, this is Bob Neal with you from the Omni in Atlanta, Georgia. 4:08 to go, second quarter. Playoff game number 4 in the Eastern Conference semifinal series between Boston and Atlanta. Boston leading it 2-1. Hawks leading it here 52-49. Kevin McHale. One of his 237 baseline moves. Good post-up player. If you get him down there on the blocks, he's going to score.
Well, he has the range of 2 feet, and that's about where he shot that one.
54-51 Atlanta. 3:34 to go in the first half.
You know, it's easy to say, why don't you just run against Boston? Make them play an up-tempo game. It's simple. They won't play it. They want to play a half-court game.
Whitman, nice pass. Livingston, it's blocked by Parish. Goaltending. Count the hoop.
Nice call by Hugh Holland. That was a goaltend. It was a tough call to save, but he got it.
Atlanta by 5.
Once this ball hits the glass, you are not allowed to touch it. Check it out. It hit the glass and then the block. That's goaltending.
3 minutes to go, first half. McHale jump hook over Rollins. Doesn't go. Rollins rebound. That's 4 rebounds in this game for Rollins. Willis has 5 for Atlanta. Wilkins, he's bumped in the lane. Traveling is the call. Oh, that brought the Omni crowd to their feet.
This is an extremely physical game. There's been an awful lot of body contact out here, and it's just going to be that way in this series.
Mike Fratello has called an Atlanta timeout. A little bit later, I want you to comment on the coming coaching position at the helm of Jimmy Rogers, who will replace K.C. Jones after this season. I know you know him well.
Oh, I'd love to talk about Jimmy Rogers.
2 1:47 to go in the half. 56-51. Atlanta leading. Atlanta's bench outscoring Boston 16-2, by the way. Bird's open.
Maybe that's the way to stop him. Leave him wide open.
McHale picks up his 3rd personal.
That's a big foul, except Kevin McHale knows how to play when he's in foul trouble.
Stay tuned for the Prudential halftime report. Craig Sager will be along with the news, scores, and highlights from all the weekend NBA playoff games. Be a conversation with Chuck Daly. Detroit on the verge of moving into the conference finals, leading Chicago 3-1.
I don't think there's any doubt about that one. It's going to be very difficult for Chicago to regroup and win now at Detroit.
2:34 to go in the first half here. 57-51 Atlanta. 58-51. Atlanta's matched the biggest lead they've had in this ball game of 7 points. Boston with all 5 starters in there. Livingston, the only substitute for Atlanta. Doc Rivers kicks it out of bounds. Livingston topped Parish in the back of the head.
That elbow on the top of the head, boy, that stings for a minute.
13 seconds on the Boston shot clock. They often score off this inbound play.
There's the screen and roll by Boston.
Hawks defense is intense. Kevin McHale misses the shot. He's fouled. That's Cliff Livingston's first.
You know, you were talking about Jimmy Rogers before. There's a guy who has really paid his dues. He was at Cleveland for a long time with Bill Fitch. He moved to Boston. When Fitch moved from Boston, he stayed. He continued to be an assistant coach there. He's one of our fine gentlemen in the league. He wanted to go to the Knicks this year. And Red Auerbach wanted the first-round draft choice for him. Everybody said, well, that's too bad because he's paid his dues. But now he's going to get his chance. Red and KC, I think, got together and decided it's time for Jimmy to be a head coach. And KC, the gentleman that he is, gave him the opportunity.
8 years an assistant at Boston. The last 4 he's been director of player personnel. He's certainly poised to move into that position.
He knows his way around. He knows every part of the pro game.
2 minutes to go. First half. Atlanta 58-53. 10 on the shot clock.
There's the double team on Dominique again.
Takes the shot and banks it home anyway, and he has 21 first half points. At the conclusion of tonight's game, Don and I will be selecting the Miller Lite player of the game. Dominique, Wilkins, and Bird front runners at the moment. Dennis Johnson left all alone, takes the set shot, buries it.
They're going to allow Dennis to shoot the outside shot. They're not going to play him. His man is always going to be in a help situation, a help position.
Off balance, Whitman missing from the free throw line. Dennis Johnson, by the way, with 9. Atlanta up by 5. Time remaining in the half at the lower right of your screen. Intercepted Livingston.
There's those hands again in the passing lane that we talked about.
Dominique Wilkins, unbelievable off balance 14-footer off the glass, 23 for Dominique Wilkins.
I hope you basketball fans realize how tough a shot that bank, that direct bank is. It's just very difficult to master. Dominique does it just so easy.
Stripped away by Rivers, collected by Rollins. Hawks running, 4 on 3. Whitman fouled by Dennis Johnson. Steals, very difficult to run off of a made basket, but so far there have been the turnovers and steals and missed baskets here.
It's a great defensive effort by the Hawks. They have not only played the passing lanes, but they've also done a really good individual job on every one of their players. Their double teams have been crisp. They've just done a marvelous job tonight.
40 points between them, Bird and Wilkins. Whitman's a good free throw shooter. He doesn't penetrate very often, so therefore doesn't go to the line. Less than 2 times a game, if you can believe that, for a starter. Ainge stepped on the baseline. 33 seconds to go in the first half. Hawks by 9. We're talking about points off of turnovers and steals and missed shots. Look at that. 22-3 points off turnovers. Atlanta's way.
There's the isolation. Here comes a double team. Dominic skip pass. Randy, you've got to make it. Yes.
Whitman brings them to their feet at the Omni, the biggest
lead by either team in this game. Atlanta by 11. Whitman runs into Ainge. He'll go to the line.
There again is the draw of the foul. He really wasn't fouled. He got Randy in a bad position, and he made the referee call the foul. Boston does it better than anybody in basketball.
10 seconds to go in the half. Fred Roberts is going to come in. McHale sits down with these final 10, not wanting to get his 4th foul.
You see that Casey Jones took a gamble, and he went with McHale. Then he didn't use him offensively. He left him on the court for 2.5 minutes, but he was an unproductive offensive player. I don't think the gamble was worth it unless you're going to go to him offensively.
Battle's going to check in for Atlanta. Antoine Carr has 3 personals for the Hawks. Nobody else in any kind of foul problems. McHale with 3 for the Celtics. Battle and Webb get in. Whitman, Livingston check out.
Another good move here by Fratello. There's only 10 seconds to go. He puts the 3 guards in along with Dominique to try to get an easy shot.
Minifield comes in for Boston, so it's Akers going.
Now here's Akers. Casey put him in the game and then tried to take him out to match up with what Fratello did. He has got to play one play. He can't just go in and out. Once you go in, you've got to play at least a second.
When Minifield came in for Akers, Fratello sprinted all the way to midcourt to point that out, which is a big call. Now the guards don't match up.
Absolutely. So Casey simply replaced another man.
Counting. Off the foot of Dominique, Boston ball. Now Boston has 3 seconds to try to score. Baseball pass from the former baseball player, Dennis Johnson. Back it for Boston. 1 second remaining in the half.
There, Fratello did everything right and it backfired. Boston ends up scoring.
Free throw and 3 offensive plays in 10 seconds.
Unbelievable.
Tipped away. Minifield's going to launch it. Almost got it at the buzzer. And
jump hook, spin move, bang, there it is.
By the way, from Marquette University, Larry Bird back on his game. You know, Larry got a bad cold on Thursday in Boston between the Wednesday and Friday games there. Of course, didn't say anything about it, but that definitely appeared to hamper his action on Friday. He also didn't play well on Sunday, but he said today that he was feeling much better, and I guess we see what that means.
You know, there's one thing people don't understand. You know, the NBA schedule plays about every other day. And so you have to play through colds and flu and injuries. Every player out here, I will guarantee you, has several injuries, but they just suck it up and go.
24 minutes of basketball remaining in game number 4. Whitman off the screen. The half-court Atlanta offense works to perfection that time, and Randy Whitman opens with a bucket.
Got to do wonders for his confidence this second half, making that first shot.
Atlanta by 9.
Atlanta is taking no prisoners.
Larry Bird sneaks into the paint, gets the nice feed after Willis was just all over Kevin McHale, denying the entry pass.
Yes, they're playing pressure basketball on the ball, but Dennis Johnson found the seam and hit Bird going without it.
Bird with 19 in the game now. Leading scorer in the game, Dominique Wilkins, 23 points. Wilkins buries the jumper. That's been a missing element of his game in the first 3 in this playoff series.
Absolutely, it's not missing tonight.
Bird over the top, no foul. Dominique controls the ball. Rivers follows his own shot. Not much more Dennis Johnson could have done to stop that. Casey Jones sees enough of this. 72-61 Atlanta, 10:35 to go in the third. Timeout ball.
Very fine Portland ball club, and now they're giving the Lakers everything they want.
We talked about good execution. Let's have a look at some excellent execution.
Let's take a look at the pick and roll. Boston plays this defensively different than most teams. They switch big out on small. There you see Rivers and Parish is on Rivers. Now, on the bottom of your screen, you see Willis trying to be blocked off by a guard. He has an advantage on the offensive glass.
10:26 to go, third quarter. 72-61, Atlanta by 11 on a 6-2 run. Bird missing badly, threw up a brick.
We had Trey Rollins on him. I think that's why.
Wilkins is fouled. Dennis Johnson with 2 personals. Atlanta up by 11. That's the largest Hawks lead of the game. Celtics led by 10 in the first quarter. Dominique Wilkins with 26 points on the night.
You know, for the first time in a long time, we're seeing some dents in the armors of these 2 outstanding teams. One from the West, the Lakers, one from the East, the Celtics. I think these other teams are catching them very slowly. And you see now that they can play with Boston on the East. Utah plays with the Lakers in the West.
Atlanta by 13. Bird off the baseline screen, but Willis switches out on him into McHale. Open shoulder. Wilkins blocked by Rollins. Kevin Willis. A 10-2 Atlanta run to open the third quarter.
Boston's got to take the crowd out of the game right now. They're going to have to score to quiet this crowd. There it is.
And they go to their machine on the baseline in the block. Kevin McHale.
Now they'd better do one other thing to quiet this crowd, and that is stop the Hawks.
Whitman off a very effective screen. Can't get it over Bird.
Hey, Randy, instead of just coming out and shooting the ball, he lets the defense bother him.
Dennis Johnson kicks it back out. Ainge, good move. Not fouled, Atlanta ball.
Good, no call by the referee. Danny tried to draw the foul again.
Kevin Willis from Doc Rivers. Doc Rivers had 15 assists in the first half, which ties the all-time NBA playoff record that had been held since 1985 by Magic Johnson. Timeout, Celtics.
Tip. McHale didn't have a good grasp. Tree coming over for the block, but the play was set up by those quick hands, and there's where the Hawks are the best. Good pressure on the ball by Doc.
Ainge with the fadeaway, but he traveled. 19 assists for Doc Rivers with 8:23 remaining in the third quarter. Breaks the all-time Hawks playoff. Danny Ainge picks up the first one.
He ties an assist record, all-time assist record in the first half with 15 assists. He backs it up here. He's continuing this great play on passing of the basketball. I think Danny Ainge was a little frustrated and hurt there. Decided to pick up the foul so he could get out of the game.
We'll check on his condition, and Boston's #1 draft choice, Reggie Lewis, into the game. He's 35, guarding Rivers. Good from the baseline. Hit from behind, no call. Lewis gets the rebound. 6'7", 195 from Northeastern. He was one of those Dunbar High School players. McHale missing. Hawks were there, couldn't get it. McHale is fouled by Rivers.
He doesn't get hurt really by the pick. He gets hurt on the fall.
And gets nailed in the head at the same time. Ainge, writhing on the bench, has an ice pack on his right knee. Looks like more of a bruise just from the way the ice pack is positioned, Don.
Well, you talk about bruises. Every player out here has a lot of those. And Danny's going to recover from that. He'll see him tonight, and you're also going to see him the next ball game. I doubt very much if anybody's going to miss a playoff game.
McHale has 16. Doc Rivers handling the ball. By the way, the all-time assist record for NBA playoffs is 24, held by Magic Johnson. Rivers only 5 away from that. We'll track the Rivers assists. Missing from the perimeter, McHale with rebound number 6. Parish also with 6 rebounds for Boston.
This sounds funny, but even more important than the assist is that Doc make that outside shot.
Bird with a big turnaround, but Wilkins was right in his face, kept alive by McHale. stolen by Rivers. What a game he's having. Willis is fouled by Johnson. He'll go to the line.
Doc giving up the ball a little too early. I think he should have held on to it and made the play easier for Willis. Willis had to make a decision there. Look at those great hands by Doc. This whole Atlanta ball club has got great hands tonight.
We're talking about Doc Rivers with 19 assists, and an obvious mistake on the pass there, as you pointed out, Don, but Rivers also has 5 steals in this ballgame.
He's a wonderful young man, too. People that know him personally, I don't know that you find a better man than Doc Rivers.
6:58 to go, third quarter. Atlanta 79, Boston 65. The rookie can't get it to go. Whitman, good defense. Rollins gathers it in. Wilkins is fouled on the baseline. And he was hit by Bird.
What a nice job by Rivers that time. He saw that he had a 3-on-2, and he just took his time. He didn't try to hurry the play, let it develop, and he found Dominique.
Coach for us here, Don Nelson. If you're Casey Jones, you see the Hawks in this scoring, running frenzy. Strategically, what can you do about it?
Well, you can't do a whole lot because of the defense. You're going to have to go inside. You're going to have to draw that double team. Boston does it better than anybody in basketball, and then find the open man. I would be a little worried about playing a rookie like Lewis in a game situation like this.
Lewis, number 35, with the ball. Shot clock to 10. Wilkins all over Bird. Switches hands. Listen, Bird has gone slow, but there's the rookie rebounding like a youngster, getting up high and getting his first playoff points.
I hope he proves that I'm wrong. I hope he plays really well because he's a nice young man.
Wilkins comes up short. Hawks wanted goaltending, but it hit the iron. Reggie Lewis has hit 2 in a row. Perhaps he heard you and he's accepting the challenge.
Well, it just shows you Casey Jones knows a whole lot more about his personnel than I do.
Reggie Lewis played only 49 games in the regular season. He's only played 4 minutes in a total of 4 games and a total of 8 minutes in the entire playoffs as Reggie Lewis picks up the foul. And Casey Jones has been thrown out of here. Bang, bang. That was very fast. He got the technical, and then he was thrown out of the ball game.
You don't see Casey do that. I can't remember in a big game that it's ever happened to him, to be quite honest with you. But he's very frustrated. It's a very physical game. And I think he just got caught up in a situation. I think if Hollins could have, Hugh could have turned his back on him, maybe we could have saved Casey, but it was too late. He was looking right at him. Hugh Evans, I didn't have a choice. He came out on the court. He had to throw him at that point. There was no other choice.
Coming on to the coach will get you onto the floor, will get you thrown out immediately. Well, I don't think Jimmy Rogers anticipated assuming the head coaching reins yet. Dominique Wilkins missed the first of the 2 technicals. And Jimmy Rogers steps in. Now, he coaches from the bench a lot anyway, does he not, Don Nelson?
Of course he does. He and Casey are very close. They've set their strategies together, their game plan together. They know exactly what they want to do. I think any coaching situation in the pro game, any of the assistants on that particular game can do just as well as the head coach.
As you pointed out, Fitch around after a couple of curveballs into Cleveland, ended up going with Bill Fitch to Boston. Fitch ends up, of course, ending up in Houston, and Jimmy Rogers now poised to take over the reins at Boston.
Well, let's not forget, he's another Iowa guy, too.
Bobby Hansen got more publicity for his alma mater in the Utah game the other night, and now Jimmy Rogers, you Iowans.
And, you know, Jimmy's son, who played quarterback at Iowa, certainly had a lot more publicity there than Jimmy did as a basketball player.
Rivers now shooting the free throws when he was fouled by rookie Reggie Lewis.
You saw Jimmy trying to calm down Dennis. Say, hey, look, don't worry about it. We're going to get back in this thing. Just take our time. We know our game plan. Let's not get in their game.
84-69 Atlanta, 5:47 to go third quarter. The third quarter during this series has been Boston's. Lewis with his first miss. Willis for the jam.
Call that the look-away pass. Jimmy Rogers is going to have to stop this momentum, and he's going to do it with a timeout.
Atlanta by 17. Assist record of 24 that it's held by Magic Johnson. Doc has 20 with 5.5 to go in the third quarter.
I don't believe there's any doubt he's going to break it and break it in big time if they continue to play in the open court.
McHale trying to post low. He can't get between Rollins and Willis. 5 on the shot clock. Johnson penetration. He's fouled on the no offensive foul.
I can't say enough about this Atlanta defense. They are taking no prisoners. Anybody tries to make a cut through the paint, they're getting hit by 2 and 3 bodies.
That's 4, as you see on Dennis Johnson. So the Celtics had to go to Reggie Lewis because the veteran they traded for from Portland, Jim Paxson, is out of this ball game with a sore back. He hurt yesterday. Shot clock to 8, 7. They reverse it to Wilkins. Bombs away for Dominique. He has 32 points.
He's really on tonight. Kevin played him well, made him shoot over the extended arm, and he still made it.
Atlanta by a tremendous 19-point advantage. It's defense. You got to look at it right here. Almost stolen by Rivers. But he'll pick up the personal, his third. Second team foul. Celtics are already in the penalty. They have committed 5 and gone over the limit. Bird goes to the line. Larry Bird has 19.
The next time the fans have a chance to look away from the basketball, notice when Boston runs through the paint and they're cutting without the basketball, the bodies the Hawks are laying on them. They're stepping out in their way. They're making them go through them, around them, but there's no direct cuts through that paint against the Hawks tonight.
88-71 Atlanta. Wilkins is just scorching hot. He almost got his rebound off his missed shot. Boston controls. 3 on 2. Hawks back quickly into Parish. Nice feed. Johnson to Lewis. Games up in Boston. All of them said, yes, we're missing shots, but our real problem has been our defense.
Absolutely. There's no doubt about it.
Willis over Parish. Rebound McHale. 8 rebounds for McHale. Open, came off a screen on the left wing and hit the bucket.
A lot of people think he's going to be a fine player. Even the shot he missed actually was right on the money.
Nice feed from Randy Whitman to Kevin Willis.
Outstanding play by Whitman. You don't expect him to make that play. You expect Rivers to make it. You expect Spud Webb to make him. But here you have the shooting guard making a play like that.
Atlanta by 15 with 3 minutes to go, third quarter.
There's where you don't want to let Boston start to function. A direct pass down to the middle of the paint, right in front of the basket. The Celtics will score there every time.
Parish with a quiet 15 points in this ball game. He came in shooting 57% in the playoffs, so you want to go to him. Carr's about set to check in for Atlanta. Rivers on the drive. Spud Webb also coming into the game, and that foul was called on Cliff Livingston for Atlanta, his second personal.
Jimmy Rogers is complaining about the moving screens. Nobody does it better than the Atlanta Hawks. They move on their screens. It's very difficult to stop their shooters when their big men can move on the screens.
Livingston, Willis, and Carr up front for Atlanta with Spud Webb and Whitman in the backcourt. Reggie Lewis and Dennis Johnson in the backcourt for Boston. Bird has gone cold. Willis rebound.
Well, it's pretty easy to go cold when you have a defensive man guarding you like that with that kind of pressure. I had a better chance to make that shot from here than Livingston did.
Not a perimeter player.
No.
To be kind. Whitman to Carr. Now Carr has a little bit better post-up turnaround shot. Doesn't get it. Here's Livingston again. Well, he's proving that you know what you're talking about, Coach, as if we ever doubted it anyway. 13-point Atlanta lead. Boston has not been scoring, but they have stopped the Atlanta frenzy of scoring in the last couple of minutes. Parish is held before he makes the move, and the foul is on Carr. Which is personal number 4,
yes.
Coach.
And one of the problems with Antoine Carr is that he does pick up a lot of foolish fouls. He still hasn't learned the technique of not fouling, or when to foul is saying it better way.
The Atlanta bench is in there right now in its full glory, with the exception of Kevin Willis. Dennis Johnson. Tipped back in by McHale.
Well, that time Antoine Carr didn't even jump for the rebound. You've got to come off that bench ready to play, Antoine.
Interesting, Antoine Carr is a great shot blocker, not a good rebounder.
With that body, he ought to be good at everything.
Battle kicks it out to Webb for the penetration. In a sea of green, he can't get it to go down, but comes away with it. They did not hit the rim. Webb had to put it up. There were only 3 seconds left on the shot clock. A fan on the sideline yelled to Webb, which triggered his shot.
Glad he was an Atlanta fan.
1 minute to go, third quarter. Bird finally hits one. He had been 1 out of 4 in this quarter before he buried that one. Bird with 23.
Notice the score. Notice Boston is just gradually chipping away. They're not going to panic. They're right there.
Atlanta has led by as many as 19. The lead cut to 9. That's the man they wanted to have the ball, Kevin Willis. And he answered the call.
That was a big-time shot because the momentum was changing with the lineup that Fratello has in the ball game right now. They weren't playing the same ball they were playing before, so that was a big jump hook by Willis.
Foul down on the baseline. We have a hold. It's on Kevin Willis.
You take a look at the Hawk lineup right now. The only outside shooter they have in the game is Battle, and he doesn't get open that often.
Atlanta with Webb at the point, Battle at the 2-guard position. Kevin Willis playing center right now. The 2 forwards are Livingston and Carr.
Take a look at this shot now. See, once Battle initiates and the ball goes to the weak side, now the only shooter they have on the court is out. They work the ball in, get it inside to Willis, and this is the shot that he can make, the jump hook.
All right, let's reset the lineups for you as we have some substitutions happening. Akers and Roberts check in for Johnson and Bird for the final 30 seconds of this third quarter. It'll be Akers, McHale, Roberts, Lewis, and Gilmore in there for the Boston Celtics.
Nice move by Jimmy Rogers. He's going to use the 90 seconds for the timeout and also the extra 30 some odd here that it's going to take to play the rest of this quarter.
McHale has 19. Bird has 23. 15 for Parish. It's been all front line again. Only 6 for Ainge. Johnson has 11. And a mere 8 points from the Boston bench. 6 of those came from Reggie Lewis. Atlanta's bench has been very quiet tonight, point production-wise. Only 16 points in the game from the Atlanta bench.
Reggie Lewis is trying to guard Spud Webb. I would go right to Spud, let him penetrate.
Bottom right of your screen, you see 15 seconds in the quarter, 7 on the shot clock. Webb for 3. That's only the third three-pointer out of 25 attempts he's hit all year. Atlanta breaks it up. Akers steps out of bounds. 2 seconds to go in the quarter.
There, the alley-oop pass didn't work that time. Nice job by Battle finding Webb with the mismatch.
Carr threw it so hard, had it hit somebody, there'd been an ambulance in the end zone. That's the end of 3.
Now what happened on the shot clock was starting to run down, and I think what they wanted to do was to get the ball to Spud and let him penetrate. But instead, he had to take that shot. He was in a perfect position, nice rhythm on it. It was all he could do to get the ball there.
Scoring by quarters, Celtics outscored the Hawks in the first quarter, and coming into tonight's game, the team that led at the end of one has won the ball game. But Atlanta beating Boston 29-24 in the third quarter. Boston is starting with Bird and Ainge, rookie Reggie Lewis, Mark Akers, and Artis Gilmore.
You see Ainge back in the game now. He also has a thigh bruise.
And he's got the pad around his right thigh. Right thigh foot. Livingston hurt also earlier in the game. Livingston on the bench for Atlanta. Nope, he's out guarding Bird. Ainge with 5 on the shot clock hits the 17-footer. Ainge has only 8 points. Big bucket for Boston.
Absolutely. And did you notice the pressure the Hawks were applying to Boston?
Rollins set to return to the Atlanta lineup. Battle looking for the Carr pick. Carr moved on that screen. Penetration, Gilmore for the rebound.
Atlanta almost has to move on their screens because their shooters don't get open that easily.
Uh-oh, Bird hitting from the perimeter. He has 25. Gilmore goes down. Atlanta runs. Webb with 15. Webb with 13 points for Atlanta. It's a 10-point Hawks lead.
Now that's about the distance that Spud Webb is comfortable shooting the ball. It's about a 15-footer. When he moves out to 17, it's very difficult for him to have the same confidence.
Willis with the reaching foul for Atlanta. He has 2. That's his 3rd. Glenn Rivers has 3 for Atlanta. Antoine Carr with 4 to give you an idea of the Atlanta foul situation. And Willis sits down. Rollins checks in.
There's an opportunity for the Hawks to do extremely well against this lineup now. If they don't take advantage of it, then I think Boston's going to have a chance to get back in the ball game.
We have a goaltending call. Jimmy Rogers was halfway down the court calling that. It's against Tree Rollins. Count the basket.
It's that kind of a call that's going to help get Boston back in this game.
That was an excellent feed from Bird to the rookie Reggie Lewis, who I thought used his head well in the very high arc off the glass, which drew the goaltending call.
Absolutely, and that goaltending was called because he shook the board, not because he hit the ball.
Battle kicks it to the open man. It's Spud Webb. From 17 feet, Spud Webb has 15 points in this ball game.
If he could consistently hit that shot, there would be no way to play Spud Webb. No way.
Ainge over the shooter. Spud Webb. Very big basket by Danny Ainge. It is an 8-point Atlanta lead with 10 minutes to go in this ball game. Atlanta hoping to draw even.
That's acceptable, and Ainge is going to shoot the jumper, the long jumper over Webb. It's acceptable, but if he takes him down the low post, then it's not going to be.
Webb answers.
He is on a roll right now.
Webb and Ainge in an old-fashioned shootout.
That basket must look like a tractor wheel to him right now.
Foul away from the ball. It's on Livingston. Wilkins returns to the game. Livingston will go to the bench with 3 personals. Now Akers is out as K.C. Jones goes back to his original lineup.
See, actually, Spud plays him pretty well right here. Danny's shooting about a 16-footer. That's a tough shot.
Boston starting lineup in there. Webb and Battle at the guards. Carr, Rollins, and Wilkins up front. Bird on the baseline. We'll remind you, you keep seeing shots of Jimmy Rogers on the sideline. K.C. Jones ejected early in the third quarter when he was called for a technical. Walked onto the floor and was ejected from the ball game. 10 seconds remaining on the shot clock for Atlanta.
Well, K.C. Jones, as I said before, has set his game plan. Jimmy Rogers can carry it out. But they're going to miss K.C.'s leadership on the court.
Parish kept it alive. Johnson controls. Bird switched to his right hand while moving left. Not a more difficult shot in basketball. And he goes to the line.
Look out, Hawks. Here come the Celtics.
Dominique Wilkins, second personal.
What a shot by Bird.
In the backyard, when you're playing horse, you call it run left, shoot right. Nobody can ever hit it.
You know, Larry Bird actually goes better to his left hand than he does to his right.
To stop this team.
Oh, there's a
great play.
Van Buren, sensational play. Forecourt Isaiah, bounce pass to Sally. He threw an alley-oop off a bounce pass.
Rebound is off the mini field. There goes Mullen. The pass is long. Great wraparound bounce pass. Score.
Jackson with the ball.
NBA action expands.
Here's Doc Rivers on his way to set a new NBA playoff record for assists, doing a beautiful job of a look-away pass. There's a 7-foot Willis filling the wing for the Jam.
By the way, since we started keeping track of his assists, Doc Rivers is at 20 assists in one game. We find that Irvin Johnson's is 24.
Right. I think Doc's going to get it today. As long as the Hawks stay in the open court, he should get it.
Wilkins with the extra step and the turnover. That's 4 turnovers for Wilkins in the ball game. 101-96 Atlanta with 8:43 remaining.
Nice call by Hugh Hollins. There's too much traveling in this league, and it's a tremendous advantage when the referees let it go. So I'm glad they called that.
Boston with their starters.
Like Dominique needs an advantage.
The only change for Atlanta is Spud Webb's in there. He's trying to guard Danny Ainge. Great Atlanta defense. Shot clock to 7. Find the open man. It's Bird for 3. Loose ball foul on Atlanta.
If I were the Hawks, I wouldn't leave Bird open on the 3 very often. I think they were very fortunate.
3rd on Rollins. Team foul situation, 4 against Atlanta. Boston has yet to commit a team foul with 8:17 to go in the ball game. Could be a decided advantage in the stretch.
It could. And you know, Boston does not foul much. I used to complain a lot when we played against them. But in watching a lot of film about Boston, they are just so long, they actually don't foul very much.
5 on the shot clock. Dennis Johnson with a double clutch. He was fouled by Willis. Willis wanted the offense.
Let's take a look at it again and see. He goes for the fake, which is his first mistake. Oh, absolutely. But again, Dennis Johnson, being an intelligent player that he is, made the referee call that foul. He initiated the contact, which is a smart play on his behalf.
Dennis Johnson has not scored in the second half. Had 11 at halftime. 7:59 remaining. Atlanta by 4. 101-97. A relatively high-scoring game for this playoff series.
Absolutely. And that's what the Hawks have to do. They have trouble scoring. When they get up into the high numbers, that means one thing, that they're playing in the open court.
Rivers, penetration. Bird, big rebound.
And that's exactly what happens when they try to play in the half court.
McHale, what a move, follows his own shot, and he's fouled. It's Tree Rollins. That's number 4.
I like Boston's chances right now. Boston is doing exactly what they want to do. If you've noticed now, look at this Bird rebound. What a gutsy rebound. Got the finger in the eye, but he'll play on. If you notice now, the Hawks are attacking at the half-court level. Boston is attacking at the half-court level. It's no match unless the Hawks can get in the open court again.
You said Boston had to go to the inside game. They have gone to it, forcing Atlanta to it, and that's how Boston has made their run back. 2-point Atlanta lead. Hawks had led by 19. Wilkins will go to the line for 2. Kevin McHale picks up his 4th. Now, he played with 3 since early in the second quarter.
Well, you know what happened? The last ball game, they double-teamed Dominique early before his dribble. And as a result, Boston loses the game. Everybody else picked up the slack. Dominique did not have a very good ball game offensively, but everybody else did. They've changed their strategy. They are now doubling off the dribble. Dominique is just too quick for that. The double teams are late, and as a result, he's having the big ball game. The results are the same, though. The Hawks are ahead.
101-99 with 7:14 remaining. Remind you again that Casey Jones, Boston head coach, was ejected in the third quarter. Jimmy Rogers is steering the ship the rest of the way.
That was unfortunate that Casey was ejected. That doesn't happen to that gentleman very often. I don't think Hugh Evans had a choice, though, because Casey stepped onto the court after that first technical. That's automatic.
102-99 Atlanta. 7 minutes remaining. Atlanta battling really for their playoff life. If they go back trailing 3-1 to Boston Gardens, it could be Boston Gardens could be lights out. McHale with a nice lob in the middle, can't get it. Rollins, big defensive rebound.
Absolutely. If Parish can finish that one off, that's a big play for Boston.
Ainge went to the double team, then left it. Wilkins over the double team. Look at his offensive rebounding. Tipped in by Wilkins.
Oh, what a big tip. Things are not going well for the Hawks. They're crashing the offensive board. That's keeping them in this ballgame.
Time out, Boston.
In front of the basket. Here they're lucky on the miss. Now look at Parish. What a big rebound by Tree right here. Battling. He wins the hustle game and gets the big rebound. Now here's this great offensive rebounding. Look at Dominique jumping over Kevin McHale. There are better jumpers than Dominique, but nobody jumps better with the strength that he has.
You're listening to the voice of Don Nelson along with Bob Neal from the Omni in Atlanta, where we have 6 minutes and 15 seconds remaining in this ball game. Atlanta 104-99.
Boston is not going to go away.
Offensive foul.
You talk about moving screens. Let's look at Danny Ainge and see if he moves on this screen. He's going to headhunt. Boom. Lowered the shoulder. That's why the play was called.
He looked like a wide receiver throwing a block.
Well, I would protect myself, too, if I was setting that screen on Willis.
Everybody upset. One official rules Atlanta ball, the other Boston. Now, technical foul on Boston, and it is on Danny Ainge. Casey Jones has been ejected already with a double technical when he came onto the court. Jimmy Rogers is coaching.
Well,
Danny Ainge is still at it.
Danny, you better be careful right here. They need you in this ball game if Boston is going to win. Don't get the second one. This is very unlike Boston. Normally they keep their head. They don't lose their head. I think Danny has been getting roughed up. He makes a pretty decent play there. It's obvious they let the foul go, but Danny did tip the ball.
It was a good call by the officials both ways. It'll be Atlanta ball.
Absolutely a good call.
12 on the shot clock. Now 10. Atlanta by 6. Shot clock to 5. Willis with 1 on the shot clock.
Boy, did he pick a good time to start playing basketball.
21 assists for Rivers. He's 3 shy of tying the NBA playoff record. Bird can't get the bank. Rollins another defensive rebound.
How about that Trey Rollins controlling the defensive board?
Stripped away from Rivers, and then Willis threw it away.
There's those small hands again.
Dennis Johnson doesn't get the layup. Rollins with another rebound. He's in double figures with 10.
Well, this is an 8-point game. But Boston has misfired on 2 easy shots. They should be right there, only down 4.
Shot clock to 7. 4, 3. Wilkins off the glass. He has 38 points.
Dominique, what a game you're playing.
Turnover, Boston and Danny Ainge. Atlanta ball with 4:42 remaining. The Hawks have built the lead to 10. Atlanta led at one time by 19. Whitman, a runner in the lane, doesn't go. Ainge with a spin move. Offensive foul.
Now, I'm going to tell you something. I'm going to tell you something about human nature right here. Danny Ainge has been flirting with the referees, so they're not going to give him a break. They're a little angry at him right here. Doc is definitely moving on the play. It should not be a charge, but it's human nature. You can't get the referees riled up and expect to get any breaks at all.
Atlanta by 10. 4 minutes to go in the game. Rivers kicks it to Whitman. Inside, no. McHale long-armed rebound.
Whitman, don't start missing now.
Now Ainge will get a three-point opportunity. Dominique Wilkins picks up the personal, his third.
Be smart now, Danny. Don't be saying anything.
Danny Ainge looked over at us, Don Nelson, after that call that went against him and not Doc Rivers, and said, check the replay, as if we could help.
Well, I mean, what has he got? You talk about concentration. Why is he talking to us? I guess it's better than talking to the referees, though, Danny.
Three-point conversion for Danny Ainge, who has 13 points. 109-102, Atlanta by 7. 3:55 remaining.
You know, Magic Johnson said, Boston will not go away. You're going to have to take a gun out and shoot them to beat them.
There's Willis with another one of those moving screens you've been pointing out.
Well, there's that mismatch again because they, on the pick and roll, they're on an automatic switch, big on little.
Boston can cut the Atlanta lead to 5.
You've got to be a man to play in this game right now.
McHale shooting over Willis, can't get it.
Push it up, Doc. You've got to push the ball up in the open court.
Wilkins sees a seam and misses the jumper. McHale has 12 rebounds in the game. Ainge pulls up. Buries a three-pointer. It's a triple for Ainge.
Excellent play by Ainge. There's not a better time to shoot the three than in the break, going to the basket, stop up, stop, pull up short, shoot that three-point shot.
4-point Atlanta lead, 2:50 remaining.
Notice Dominique misses the easy shot he's made all night. Randy Whitman misses the open shot.
Rivers answers the three.
But look who comes to the rescue. Doc Rivers. Yeah, Doc, do it.
The Omni is
Decision here on the three. His team is down. They're in the last 2 minutes, and he pulls up. Good momentum shot. Yes, it's a perfect time to take it, Danny, when your team is down going to the basket like that. But who answered? Not Dominique. It's Doc Rivers having the big game at the right time. He answers the three. What a big play, Doc.
And coming up next on the Superstation, the Year of the Dragon. Don, you're invited out to my house to check this movie out right after the ball game. Mickey Rourke, John Lone, Year of the Dragon. I know it's one of your favorites.
I can't wait.
112-105 Atlanta. 2:34 remaining in this ball game. Ainge hits the triple. It's followed by Doc Rivers, who, by the way, has matched his entire season three-point outputs.
Yeah, it kind of looks like it's going to be Atlanta's night. But Boston, I keep saying, it's not going to go away.
Three Rollins defensive rebound. How many has he had tonight? That's an 88 playoff high for Rollins. He has 12 total rebounds in the game.
Danny Ainge is doing an outstanding job of denying the ball from Doc Rivers, so he can't get in the open court.
Off the glass, Dominique. Wilkins with 40. His playoff high this year, 43.
I want you to take your basketballs out tomorrow and try to make that straight-on bank shot from right around the bottom of the key area. See how difficult that shot is.
This is the three-point attempt. Rebound Rivers on the run. Fouled in the backcourt. That's on Johnson, his 5th.
I think the important thing about that play was that Doc was looking up court to move the ball quickly, take a look, see if there's something easy, and then make a decision to either run the clock or go ahead and score the easy one.
Doc Rivers, 14 points, 5 rebounds, 21 assists. Atlanta by 9, a minute and a half to go in this ball game.
They're going to run the clock now.
It's down to 5. Tipped out of bounds by Boston with 4. They'll reset the shot clock to 5 seconds for the inbound play.
Nice 20-second time.
Reproduction or other use of the pictures, descriptions, or accounts of this game without the express written consent of the National Basketball Association is prohibited. A minute 23 remaining. 114-105 Atlanta. 5 on the shot clock. Inbound lob. Rollins. Jam from Whitman.
It's over. This game is over. Nice play by Mike Fratello.
Parish, nice move. Gets the hoop. But a minute and 11 remain, and it is Atlanta by 9.
What a big-time out-of-bounds play by Fratello. He knew that if he could score there with 5 seconds to go, that the game was his. And the game is his.
Under a minute. The bottom right of your screen. Time remaining for Atlanta to tie this series at 2. Shot clock to 3. Whitman. Tip in Willis, who has 19.
You know, it's not just losing this game for Boston, but I think Boston is really beat up. The physical play of the Atlanta Hawks have hurt Boston. Not hurt their pride, but hurt them physically.
Rivers, no assist. He missed the jam. Willis misses, but it's all over. 28 seconds remaining in the game. Atlanta up by 11. Ainge fouled in the lane with 23 remaining, but the Boston bench tells you what the story is. The Boston bench tonight has produced 10 points, 8 from rookie Reggie Lewis, only 2 from Minifield. So once again, the Boston bench, while not called on very much, as you pointed out, Don, doesn't produce many points.
Well, it's pretty hard to score points when you're sitting on the bench quite a lot. You know,
the bench gets in now, but it's now just rest time for the starters.
Well, you know, when Reggie Lewis played with the good unit, he played very well. And I think that's the key. There are some talented players on that bench. They really do miss Paxton, though. He was in KC's rotation, and having the bad back. And
most effective game of the playoff series. He had scored more in the opening series against Milwaukee. Dominique Wilkins had 43 in one game, and in terms of performing under pressure, tonight was the big game for Dominique Wilkins. Larry Bird came out on fire, and Wilkins answered him basket for basket. Wilkins kept at it. Bird was shut down somewhat, even though Larry has 30, and Dominique stayed at it and has 40.
It's going to be interesting to see the changes now that Boston makes with Dominique. He had the big game. They had him pretty well under control. Whether they double team him a little more earlier the next time, it'll be very interesting to see.
Atlanta's just going to run it out. Boston's going to let them. This series is tied and heads back to the Boston Garden. 1-8.